Hello, everybody. Phenomenal Sir here, back with another episode of The First 15, the series where I play the first 15 minutes of new or underexposed indie games and then share my thoughts and feelings about them. Today, we have a hunt for the FAE folk. While strolling about in the woods, you've stumbled into another realm. Its denizens are mischievous, and their patience is running thin. Hunt for 5 hidden Easter eggs in order to regain your freedom. Game made during a personal jam game over the Easter weekend. WAS to move, shift to sprint, and space skips splash screens. Okay. So the game was initially published 10 days ago and was updated 5 days ago. So yeah. And it's done in that kind of like PS1, PSX style. So, which I've been playing a few of these lately, and I'm really enjoying them. So, hopefully, this one turns out to be yet another hit. So, without further ado, let me get my 15 minutes up on the clock, and we are ready to go. Oh. Ooh. This is an interesting... Oh. The mouse is extremely sensitive, but luckily I might be able to... Nope, can't do anything about that. Hang on. This is the lowest setting I've got on my mouse, and it's pretty crazy. Oh. It's an interesting little texture effect on the screen. Not sure if that's like a rendering issue or if that's intentional. But I like it. They did a good job of capturing the foggy PS1 game feel. So I'm looking for 5 Easter eggs. And I'm sure there's going to be like jump scares or things chasing me or something like that. So this, I guess this is kind of like a it's like a PSX version of Slender. Like you're looking for your notes and there's something or some things hunting you. Finding the first egg is really going to be key because I don't really know exactly what I'm looking for other than it's an Easter egg. So... Well, the sound effects are good. They change, they change in speed as you're running. But the lack of any other sound is a bit strange. Oh, it's a squirrel. Like, if I crank the sound all the way up, I can hear wind blowing. But I'm not going to do that because games like this tend to wah at you when you get got, and I'm not trying to break my computer speakers just so that I can hear the wind blowing. So that might be something to, if the developer was to do any more updates on this, they might look into upping that or just adding an options screen that lets you increase that. That's a frequent gripe of mine. Are you an Easter egg? You are a rock. Well, I have found a road. I kind of messed myself up because I immediately just took off in a random direction instead of following the paths. And I'm finding myself wondering, A, do I ever run out of stamina? Because if I don't run out of stamina, then there's no reason to have a stamina button. Let me just run this speed all the time. B, I'm wondering, am I already being chased, or will shit begin to get real once the first egg is found, like with Slender? So I guess this is where I started. At least it looks like where I started. Should I be looking on the path? Or should I be looking... I'm just going to follow this path and see what happens. Keep an eye out for Easter eggs. Ah, I found an Easter egg. I step on it. Oh. Now I turn back. Easter eggs. Eggs found, 1. There's a tiny little counter up in the top left. That perfect opportunity for something to be sneaking up on me. I'm gonna super run fast like Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, it's just a mushroom. Oh, hang on. Okay, just making sure. Mushrooms everywhere. I don't want mushrooms. I want Easter eggs. Ha. See, the bad guys thought I was going to take the path, but I juked them by going this way instead. Got it. That's 2. What if I keep going in this direction? Oh. So this is just like an island, basically. A little foggy island out in the middle of a lake or a sea or something somewhere. Alright. 2 down. Hey, no fall damage. Oh, found the edge. Did it. I thought I found the edge. Yep, I found the edge. Okay. I probably should have just followed each of the paths, and then I probably could have found an egg in each direction, like go through each of the arches and just follow the road. But I have a feeling I just followed the edges. Because it seems like the first 2, I kind of just followed a path in a direction of the area until I got to the edge, and then I found a thing. So if I find the edge and just follow it, does that mean I'll find all the eggs? Oh. Oh, thought I broke it for a second. I was like, stuck. Okay. This is... I'm not sure if this is the path or if this is just a bit of rock. Okay. The AI is trying to hunt me down right now, but my choice of directions makes 0 sense. They can't pin me down. They don't know where I'm going. Doesn't seem like the arena is round. It doesn't really seem like it's square either. It's just there are edges. I keep thinking I see things off in the distance in the fog, and then when I step forward, I realize it's just my imagination. Or it's a tree. Like a second ago, I looked and I thought there was like the outline of a ladder or something. Like I was seeing the very edge of a building with a ladder on it, and then I stepped forward and there's literally just nothing there where I was looking. I don't know what I saw. I just know what I thought I saw. My dog hears something or say, hello, little birdie. Are you a trap? Ha ha. Got it. That's a fairy circle. Now they're definitely going to be pissed at us. We entered the fairy circle and we partook of their colored egg treats. The description of the game said something about the denizens not being patient and like the clock was ticking or something. And I'm wondering, is it something to do with like how many eggs you find, they get more aggressive? Or is it something where there's just a timer and like I just hit the 10-minute mark, so now they're coming for my butt, you know? I think I went down this path before. I have another thought, but I don't want to speak it into existence just yet, so I'm gonna hold off. Run, run, run! This is a path I've also already taken. Because I remember that little rock in the middle of the road with the mushroom. Let's follow this path. Yeah, this is... Oh, man, this is sensitive. It's not super game breaking though, because there's not a lot of like fine detail work that I need to do, you know. I'm kind of just like walking and turning slowly. The only thing that's really happening is my left ring finger is starting to hurt a little bit because I've been holding down a button for 11 minutes now, 12 minutes now. I found this too. This is the part where I was like, oh, is this part of the path or is it just random rocks? So this path goes nowhere. So maybe it's like over here. I don't think I explored this little area. I don't see any little splashes of Easter cheer off in the distance, so... do appear to have found another road. I think I'm following the same path again. Crunch, 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 crunch. You'll never catch me, little fairy folk. I'm too quick for you. Ooh. What? It's like a little maze. I can't step over these rocks. Okay, here we go, y'all. This feels like where the scare comes in. Something comes out of the ground when I grab the egg and starts chasing me. Yeah, this right here just feels like it was meant to either extend the length of the game or like something's supposed to appear and chase me, and I'm supposed to be like, oh god, no, please don't eat my giblets. And I think there was a split in the path back here. And it could be that it leads to the final egg. It does not. This is where I found the other egg and the happy squirrel. So I literally did a big loop and missed that over there. Damn it. Is there going to be one like right over here? Like there's like one hidden like right at the entry area somewhere. I guess I'll never know, because that is the end of that. Okay, so it doesn't appear that there's any way to exit the game other than just turning it off and turning it back on, and when I do that, it's just going to be a basically something like this with a start button on it. So, thoughts and feelings. This is a hard one to really judge, because you did a decent job. The developer did a decent... We're going to have to break this one down just like the standard 5-point thing. It's going to be a very formulaic breakdown. So, sound. As I said, there was a wind sound effect. Couldn't hear it unless I cranked my volume all the way up to about 90%, which I will never do. Generally, I do not turn the volume on my speakers over 50% when I'm doing these, because I never know when a jump scare is going to happen or when something crazy is going to happen, and it's going to destroy my speakers, my sound, my ears, and scare the crap out of any of my animals that might be sleeping in the room, which I have one right now. So, for all intents and purposes, for me, the only sound effect in the game was my footsteps. And at first, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good sound effect for footsteps. But then I started to notice some inconsistencies. At first, I was like, oh, it's very consistent because it speeds up when you run and it slows down when you walk. But then it got to where there were these like extra footsteps thrown in. And I kept thinking, oh, there's something chasing me. And I'd turn around and there was nothing there. And I don't know if that's because that was an intentional thing on the developer's part, because he or she or they wanted me to think I was being chased and make me nervous, or if it was just the game being weird. So what sound effects you did have appeared to work. Good job on the sound. Graphics wise, there's a weirdness here. You definitely nailed the PS1 spoopy game look, but the way you got it, I think, might be a little strange. I don't know if it's like a filter that you put over the screen or what it is, because it seems like right now when I'm looking at this gray screen, there's this area here that's just a flat gray, and there's a lot of little dots in it, like dark dot, light dot, dark dot, light dot, dark dot, light dot. And it creates the effect of making everything seem kind of beveled and undeveloped, but it also gives it the appearance that there's like some sort of weird texture floating on my eyes, and it was a little weird, honestly. Other than that weird thing that I'm seeing right here, which again, I don't know if that's a thing for it's a setting issue with my screen, or if it's how you made this stuff look the way it is, like if it's some sort of like overlay or what it is, but it was a little off-putting. The fog does a good job of A, building suspense, B, making me feel like I'm lost, because I honestly had no idea where I was, and that's a big part of, not only this type of game, but I think the type of mythology that you're trying to tap into, where you're off, off across the fields, and you take a shortcut through the woods, and then the fog rolls in, and now you're lost, and you're wandering around the woods, and you keep seeing the same few landmarks, and you don't know, is this the same landmark and I'm just walking in circles, or is this just something that looks similar? I think in this case it was just that I was walking in circles, but it had that. The fog also had the added bonus of hiding any pop in that may have been occurring. I don't know if it was or not, because I didn't see any, so plus on that. The story is pretty much 3 sentences on your itch.io page. There's no dialogue. There's nothing like that. Obviously, it's just you're in the woods. It's foggy. If I was to start playing this and I had not read your itch.io page, I would have no clue whatsoever about what I'm supposed to do, other than there's this little thing up here in the top left corner that says eggs found in black text. So for what it is and in the way it was presented, it's effective. But this is not something that I could just like send to a friend and say, hey, play this. They would have to read it. They'd have to read it ahead of time to kind of understand what was expected of them, which, you know, reading is fundamental. So I'm not going to feel bad for them. I'm just pointing that out. The story is pretty much non-existent. Gameplay-wise, this is a little difficult for me, because as far as gameplay, it doesn't seem like there really was any. I was walking. I took off in my own direction immediately, and I quickly realized that was going to do nothing for me. Found my way back to the starting area, and then I started following the paths methodically. Never once was I punished for leaving the path. The only reward, as it were, for following the path appeared to be I get to find eggs. I can't recall, because I was kind of going around it a little bit haphazardly. I don't know if I followed all the paths and just missed an egg, or if there's one just out there somewhere that I didn't find that you can't find by following paths. But at the end of the day, the game essentially boiled down to me holding shift, holding up, and then slightly moving my mouse to the sides to turn. Occasionally I would turn around to see if something was coming, and something never was. At one point during the video, I said, I have a thought, but I don't want to will it into truth by speaking it aloud. My thought is that there are no monsters. I am not generally this accidentally good at these types of games, and my fear is that the whole idea that there is something out here chasing me or trying to get me is a red herring. Which, you know, on the one hand, if that's true, that's cool, and I'll get to that in a second. But on the other hand, if there's no threat here, then really the only enemy is boredom, right? I mean, if it boils down to me following paths in a foggy area and there's no punishment for not finding the eggs quickly or for wandering off the path or whatever, then there's really no gameplay, as it were. It becomes Walking in the Woods Simulator, 1998. But, final point, atmosphere. You hit it with the atmosphere. You've got the PS1 graphics nailed. You've got sparse sound, which, while a little is also, you know, okay, because it captures that spookiness that you were going for, I think. The constant wondering of, is there something actually chasing me or not, is nice. It does a good job of making the game kind of frightening without really making the game frightening, because the whole time I'm like, is something chasing me? No. Is something chasing me? No. Is something... So, but I could say if I was to continue playing this after the video is off, I feel like at this point I would have no real motivation to go quickly. it would kind of just turn into me trying to break the game at that point. Like, there's no jump button. So really, the only way you could break it would be like the one part where I went up the hill and then slid down, and I thought I'd trapped myself in some water, but I got out. In that, and along that line of thought, developer, the game works. It appears, unless there was supposed to be something chasing me and it just got caught on a rock or something somewhere, or didn't spawn. As near as I can tell, all the parts of the game that are in the game work. It's just that there's not a lot of parts to it. So I can't say that this is, a phenomenal game experience, because it was kind of like, I caught myself thinking like, wow, people are going to watch this video and it's literally just me sprinting towards fog for 15 minutes. But for me, there was that apprehension for about 10 to 12 minutes of it. I was like, God, I'm just waiting for something to jump out from behind a tree and grab me, or something to happen. But then nothing ever did. And because nothing ever did, and the game is, I don't want to say the game is long, because I only played it for 15 minutes, and I'm, 4/5 of the eggs have been found. That seems weird to say the game is long. But in this case, 15 minutes felt like a long time to play this game. It feels like by now I should have either gotten killed or I should have finished the game, because there doesn't seem to be anything else going on. So for me, I would say that this is a good game in that you appear to have done what you set out to do. As near as I can tell, nothing about this is broken. So it is a well-made game. It is functionally good. But as far as the fun factor, I don't know. Not really feeling it. I want to check. Now, I will say this is a name-your-own price game. Suggested price of $2. Now, the developer has made one other haunted PS1 game called The Happenings at Bower's End. And this one's listed as a simulation, whereas FAE Folk is listed as adventure. But they look very similar from the screenshots. So, this is a developer that I think they are doing something they like to do, and they are apparently good at doing it. But at the same time, I feel like if I had paid money for this, which, that's part of the reason I only do the 15 minutes, is because if I'm going to do more than 15 minutes, I'm going to pay you. I don't feel motivated to play more of this. And I feel like if I had just been like right off the bat, bam, here's $5, I don't know that I would have felt like I got my money's worth as it is. Which feels like a mean thing to say, because it's not meant to be the next great thing. But that's just me sharing my thoughts and feelings. I think, developer, you did a good job with what you intended to do. However, I don't know that there's a threat there, and because there was no threat there, the gameplay started to lag a little bit for me. I don't know that there's enough content there to be taking money for it. That's just my opinion. Please don't hate me. I am going to give a follow. I'll probably check out the other game, because as I said at the start, I do like haunted PS1 games. I am definitely biased in favor of those types of games. For this, I don't want to say it's a bad game, because it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to say it's a game I've reviewed. So that's just I've reviewed it. But I will give you 3 stars. I wish you could do half stars, because I really want to do 3.5. But I'll give you 3. Definitely thank you, developer, for all of your hard work on this. Thank you for sharing your work with us. As I said, you've done a good job with this. It just didn't do it for me. It just didn't light my fire, so to speak. But I will check out your other stuff, and if the other game, if the other game is something really cool, if it's got a little bit more meat to it, then um, we will revisit this conversation in the future, perhaps. So, anyway, kind of went on a little bit longer than I should have at the end there, but thank you everybody as always for watching. Be sure to check out all of my other First 15 videos here on my YouTube. I do believe that this is actually my official 50th review video, so yay me. I apologize for the videos being sparse this week. Normally I do 2 every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I think this is my 4th one for the week, and it's Friday, and I'm probably not going to do 2 more. I said I would, but I'm probably going to go unpack more because I'm still in the process of getting moved into the new place. So, yeah. Be sure to give the developer K107 a follow. Support them if you're able, if you are inclined to do so. A link to the game will be in the description down below. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe out there. And I will see you next time. Later.